welcome to part 2 of my avocado dye project, the part where I actually dye the fabric. After spending a longer than necessary time with my avocado dye samples, I finally settled on a technique that I knew would produce the color I wanted. If you'd like to see how I decided what that technique was, I'll link the video of my tests on the top right corner of the screen and in the description box below. I decided to go with a soy milk mordant, cured for a week, and then an avocado pit and red wine dye bath. My first step was creating the mordant. According to my calculations, this meant I needed about 2 liters of soy milk and 10 liters of water. I simply used the carton the soy milk came in as my measuring guide for the water. After the first 6 liters of liquid, I added the clean cotton in an attempt to prevent the soy water mix from splashing all over my floor and to make mixing it in the pot just a little bit easier. I then let the fabric soak overnight. Before it started smelling too funky, I removed the fabric from the soy mordant and wrung it out. Since I'm kind of a small guy, there's a lot of fabric there, I tried being clever by hanging the fabric over my shower curtain rod and then twisting the fabric to wring it out. I then hung it on my clothesline to dry completely before storing it away in my linen closet for a week to cure. On the day before the fabric would have been completely cured, I started working on the avocado dye liquor. I've collected a large stash of avocado pits over the years, and a lot of these came from my generous colleagues, and I've kept them in the freezer. Some of the pits still had fruit on them, so a good scrubbing was in order. It's important to remove all the green bits from your avocado pits before dyeing with them, otherwise your dye will come out muddy. I started putting the pits directly in the dye pot when I had another clever idea. I have a cheesecloth bag for making nut and oat milks, and I figured I could use it as a giant tea bag to hold my avocado pits. It worked wonderfully. It kept all the little bits out of my dye liquor and thus out of my cloth, and now my milk bag is a lovely shade of pink too. Of avocado pits to the side of the pot to keep it from falling in, much like how one would tie their tea bag to the handle of their mug. I then used my kettle to pour tap water into the pot. As mentioned previously, I don't have the strongest arms, so instead of bringing the pot to the water in the sink and then attempting to lift it to the stove, I brought the water to the pot. I then set the heat to low and let the mixture simmer for several hours. Then cut the heat. I left the avocado pits to sit in the dye liquor overnight to intensify the color. Morning, I removed the avocado pit bag from the dye liquor and added the appropriate amount of red wine according to my calculations. At this point, my fabric had sat a week unwashed from the mordant and was ready to dye. I reheated the mixture to a low simmer and added in the cotton. I had to stand on a small ladder since I wasn't tall enough to drape all the fabric in. Before the mixture got too hot, I used my hands to mix the fabric around. I wouldn't recommend this technique. Please don't do this. Use a spoon and wear gloves when working with dyes. I left the mixture to stew for a few hours while being sure to stir regularly. Ideally, this would have been done in an even larger pot where the fabric could move more freely. When the fabric is scrunched up in a too small pot, an uneven and splotchy dye job can occur. but I don't mind some uneven dyeing personally. After an afternoon of simmering away, I cut the heat and left the fabric to cool in the dye liquor overnight. So after one night of mordanting, a week of curing, a night of dye making, and a night of dyeing, on day 8 of this project my fabric is ready. I used a separate bucket to carry just the fabric to my bathtub for washing. The overalls I'm wearing are made from fabric I dyed with onion skins. Should I make overalls with this fabric? Anyway, Jolene and I rinsed the fabric in cold water until the water ran clear. We then used the tiniest drop of Synthropol, which is a very intense detergent. I've been working on this bottle for nearly 5 years, and washed the fabric. The bathroom lighting isn't the most flattering, and the fabric is looking a little drab in these shots, but rest assured it's the loveliest rosewood color. I used my patented shower curtain twisting technique to wring the fabric out after I washed it and rinsed it a couple times in the bath. I then hung it up to dry again on the clothesline. Now that it's all clean and dry, I have some beautiful naturally dyed pink fabric to sew into something soft. My original plan for this fabric was to make a summer dress, but of course it's now autumn as I'm recording this. If you have any suggestions on what I should make with all this lovely pink fabric, please let me know by commenting below. I've been in a bit of a design rut lately, so any feedback is appreciated. I'd also appreciate it if you did any of those things the algorithm liked, such as liking this video or subscribing to my channel for more gentle craft videos. Either way, thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.